Hello friends, Taki back here, and today I'd like to take a look at the world of Chel from NHL 23 and compare it to the latest version from NHL 25, because as you all know, EA overhauled this mod in NHL 24 and added a lot of new things, while removing a lot of other ones at the same time. So today we'll visit NHL 23 and see how many differences we can find compared to NHL 25. Now let's take a look. Alright, so we can already see the difference just by looking at the menu. In NHL 25 they changed the design a little bit by moving game mode buttons to the bottom left of the screen. They also made a new category called Live Events, which contains all the other modes besides 6s and 3s, such as 1s, 3s Eliminator, Pro M, and also the new NHL Arcade game mode. They also moved the section buttons at the top of the screen and made them in form of panels. Personally, I think the design for game mode buttons is pretty good. In my opinion, it just looks great. But on the other hand, I didn't really like the section changing buttons. I'm talking about those on the top of the screen. I think the old ones looked way better. Now let's quickly take a look at the gameplay changes, and the first one on the list is the option to search for a teammate in club games. For example, if you are playing with a friend on offense and want to find a defender, you can just enable the drop-in skaters option and it will probably find a player for you. But the really noticeable changes were made in the club finals. Back in NHL 23, during club finals you would have to play in a little outside arena, which I hated a lot, because you couldn't play in your club arena before the end of the finals. So the way it worked here was pretty simple. Based on your division, you would play in either a Pro Cup or in Elite Cup, and basically you were competing for rating on the top. The better your position on the top, the better rewards you will get, and if I'm not mistaken, it was the bags and also a banner for your arena. In my opinion, it was pretty boring system, and thankfully in NHL 24 they added playoffs to it. It works exactly as you think, 4 rounds, each one is best of 7, and if you win all 4 rounds, you win the cup, and if you lose, you have to start all over again. I think this was a very good addition to the game, because now it doesn't feel like pointless grind like it was in NHL 23, and now you have something to compete for. Alright, the next two sections are Loadout and Club, and they look exactly the same as in NHL 23, so there is nothing to talk about here. And now let's take a look at the creation zone. I think EA did a very good job in NHL 24, because in NHL 23, before going into customs, you had to go in one of the 3 separate categories. One for skaters, one for goalies, and one for your club. And the problem here was that when you entered the category you wanted, you had to wait for at least 20 seconds before loading in. And it may seem like not much, but if you wanted to quickly change from skater to a goalie, you would have to spend at least 20 seconds just waiting before everything loads in. But now, in NHL 25, and obviously in NHL 24 as well, you can just press the right or left trigger and you will be able to quickly switch to the other category. But what about the UI in the creation zone? Well, I don't think it's bad. Actually, I really like the old UI, but the new one is just much faster to navigate through, because you can basically see every possible setting on the screen, so I'm definitely for the new one. Back in NHL 23, you would have to go into different categories and press X and O all the time, and it was kind of annoying, so like I said before, the new one wins it for me. By the way, another thing that I remembered about going back to NHL 23 is that you couldn't just look at what jerseys do you have, since there were a lot of categories, so you would have to go into every single one of them and check every possible section just to see what you have in your collection. And this was really annoying, especially with the NHL jerseys or masks. This was fixed in NHL 24 and now you can actually see what jerseys and other equipment do you have from every category, so that's a good thing as well. Now let's move on. Alright, the next section is a new one, and it's called Battle Pass. It consists of 75 levels with a lot of cosmetic rewards and a few loadouts. You can get loadouts with a free version of the pass, so I'm okay with that being in the game as long as it's not pay to win. The only problem I have with it is its name. Why would they call it a Battle Pass in a hockey game? I think a lot of you have already thought of the better name, the Season Ticket. Yeah, it might not be the best one, but at least it fits the theme of the game very well, so I just don't understand the devs here. Our next section is also a new one, and it's called Store. Last year, EA basically overhauled the rewarding system. In NHL 23, you would get bags for achieving milestones, leveling up, and all that stuff. And in these bags you get a lot of different things, such as goal horns, jerseys, sticks, and all the other stuff. But now, starting from NHL 24, all you can get is coins, which you can spend at the store to buy whatever you want. And I wouldn't mind that change if the execution was good. But what we actually got at the release is a very laggy store that loads for about 5 seconds, and after you buy something you literally had to wait at least 20 seconds before being able to buy something else. And I'm not lying or something, I actually counted that with a timer. They tried to fix it in NHL 25, but it still takes a good amount of time. Right now it's about 12 seconds. Another problem I had with the store in NHL 25 is that I cannot find some of the items I need, mainly the goal horns. There's a timer in the store that shows when the new items will be available, but every time I try to find the $star goal horn in their team section, I am never able to do so. So my actual thoughts about this change don't fix what isn't broken. In my opinion, bags were a really good feature in Chel. You'd get them at least every 2 or 3 games, and opening them were pretty much fun, at least for me, cause I could get things I was looking for, and this would actually make me happy. But now with this coins system, I can't even buy what I want sometimes.
Excited to introduce the World of Chel store, where you can get the items you want when you want them,
And I don't want to exaggerate, but I think the store is one of the worst additions to the mod in recent NHL history. If the execution was better, I probably wouldn't mind it, but at its current state, it's really bad. Well, since the last 2 sections are the same as in NHL 25, I don't think there's much left to talk about. So, what are your thoughts on the current state of the World of Chel? Do you like it, or do you prefer the old one? Let me know in the comment box down below. You can also check out my videos about Pro AM and the Gold 20 build. So, I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.